so everybody knows how serious I am about how I'm going to do things on the weekends. Yes, I actually have several green shirts that I will be wearing, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Because, it's what I feel like doing. So, good morning and happy Friday. Let's get to my low, my high, my act of kindness. Let's see, what's my low? So, yeah, my low is I slept in far too late this morning. It's always so dumb. On Fridays, Friday always seems to be the day that I go to bed, I wake up so late, but I also go to bed really late. And then it just messes everything up, and then I feel uncomfortable about it, and yeah, it's just not ideal. But that's okay. What is ideal is my high, which is, we got a new episode of Hot Ones yesterday, which is awesome. And let's see, what's my act of kindness? Let's see. Well, I talked to my mom yesterday a couple times. That was great. They're having a nice time in Florida right now. Suffice it to say, Disney World has been very kind to them. And I mean, it's the happiest place on earth. Why wouldn't it be? Well, true, but I mean, listen. Anything bad can happen virtually anywhere. We all know this. But they went to Epcot yesterday. I think on either today or tomorrow, they're going to go to Animal Kingdom. Or maybe they're going to Magic Kingdom today and Animal Kingdom tomorrow. I don't know. There's like... Seriously, you could literally do like 1,000 things in that entire area and you still wouldn't even be halfway done. I wonder if they're going to be seeing a parade. Well, I don't know. I should probably get talk about Hot Ones. Actually, I do have another part of my low, which is I thought yesterday was the day I was supposed to get my hair cut. And it turns out it's next Thursday. So, yeah. The stuff grows out a little bit longer, I suppose. Yeah, I thought, because I've explained this before, normally when I get a haircut, I usually do it when it's fairly close to when I'm about to start the next set of 100 days. Because, new set of 100 days, clean slate, So, I say a new look, I just, get my hair cut short. That's all I do. But, it feels refreshing to do that. And I know I was supposed to do it soon, but I didn't think I thought it was supposed to be yesterday. But it does kind of make sense. Day 3,000, holy cow, it's going to be day 3,000, won't be until March 19th. So that would mean you'd probably want to do it within the last week or so. So $29.93 will be next Thursday, so that's when I'll do it. So about a week before, which is fine. Oh, I tell you what though, I wonder what the weather's gonna be like that day. Cause like, when I get my hair cut, I can actually feel the cold air run over my scalp. It's actually really cool. I don't know. I'm sure whatever it is, it'll be fine. So, enough about that. Charlie Puth was on Hot Ones yesterday, so let's discuss. Okay. Well, he was on Hot Ones to promote his new album that's coming out later this year, or actually, it's out now, I think. Something Clever. I forgot the name. But before I go on, I have to say throughout there was a theme about this episode that I mean, I'm glad that I got to learn more about Charlie Puth in yesterday's episode. But the thing about Charlie Puth that fascinated me most was how musically savvy he is. Like, he talked about how in this upcoming album, like, there's a bunch of people he's collaborated with, including Jeff Goldblum, but he also got to do something with Kenny Loggins and Mike McDonald, which, good God, man, how do you pull that off? And described what yacht rock is and how a jazzy chord structure works. Like, the way he described it is like a normal chord, like, ooh, like A, B, C, or something like that. And like a yacht rock, which has a little bit of da na 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 na, like that, like one of those things. He talked about how back when he was in college, how he hustled, trying to get into trying to break out, and he talked about how his most productive hustle day was he got into the Universal Music Publishing building on Broadway, and he talked about the worst thing anyone ever said was that Kara DioGuardi said his lyrics weren't any good, but while that brought him down, it didn't keep him there, because from that point he realized, you know what? Why don't I just collab with people? I mean, that's what makes collaboration so great. Like, I want to say, I know it's not the right word, but forces, I can't think of a better word than forces. Two forces or ideologies, yeah, there we go. Two ideologies, two beliefs that may or may not necessarily, like, you wouldn't think go together at first. Give it a little time to mesh and develop, and you got something there. So yeah, getting that insult by Kara DioGuardi opened up to collaboration, which is awesome. Hence why we have the new album that we have. They discussed what a good hook is. If you don't know what a hook is, it's basically like something you hear at like the very beginning of the song. It could be song lyrics, it could be the melody, it could be anything that hooks, that's the word, people into whatever the song you wrote is. I mean, this actually does remind me. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but one person I think would be really great to see on Hot Ones, John Popper, the lead of Blues Traveler, because one of their best songs by far is a song called "The Hook," which, I mean, I can't really say any of the lyrics because I think I can copyright it, but fantastic song. Probably one of my favorite songs of all time, actually. They talked about, the texture of a sense and what, like, the sound itself can be kind of a lyric. Like, you could sing, like, a set of lyrics in, like, the key of G, and that'd be okay. But try singing something in a different key. Like, maybe try key of E or key of A. Yeah. Sorry, I lost where I was in my notes. Okay, here we go. They talked about how notes can trigger an emotional response out of people. The frequencies of getting mixed emotions. I mean, I can tell you right now, there have been plenty of songs I've heard in my life that, have genuinely made me feel joy just based on hearing the lyric that I needed to hear in that moment in time. There are songs I've heard that have made me cry after hearing a lyric sung in just the correct way. I mean, it doesn't make me cry anymore, but one song that used to actually make me cry was Feed the Birds. Yes, the Mary Poppins song. I mean, it still triggers an emotional response, but now I just don't have tears rolling out of my eyes whenever I hear it. I'll tell you what, though. Speaking of Feed the Birds, shout out to Kristen Chenoweth, because she's the best person to do Feed the Birds since Julie Andrews herself. Seriously, look that video up on YouTube. It's great. He talked about what he likes about modern music today and how we're slowly getting into, whatever the best song that's out is usually like the winner. And it's pushing a lot of people to try and be more creative and be, better at what they're doing. That's great. I mean, don't get me wrong. We're still going to get bad songs. There is always going to be a bad song. Actually, it probably won't necessarily be bad so much as the message isn't necessarily right, or it just didn't come out at the right time, which can totally happen. But I gotta go with what Charlie Puth said. Like, we are getting better music as time goes on. He talked about how his pizza palate has evolved because he's from New Jersey. In New Jersey, they have good pizza, but New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, they all have good pizza. He's trying not to be a pizza snob, which, oh, dude, yeah, they wouldn't get Dave Actually, you know what? I think just because I'm about to say it, they just might get Dave Portnoy Hot Ones one day. So I'm just gonna leave it. It's Schrodinger's Hot Ones guest. We're either gonna get Dave Portnoy, or we can say we're gonna get Dave Portnoy, and we can say we are not getting Dave Portnoy. Yes, that is Schrodinger's Hot Ones guest. I just made that up. Oh yeah. Remember, so far in this video, I've talked about how Charlie Puth has been musically savvy. And the next two questions, well, actually, the last three questions really sum it up, because he talked about how the SpongeBob episode Band Geeks is one of the greatest cartoon episodes of all time, which I, as someone who has seen that episode many times, I am very inclined to agree. In fact, it's because of the SpongeBob Band Geeks episode that I title my YouTube videos the way I do. Yeah, what day are we on right now? Day 88? Huh. No, 87. Day 2987, I think, are on. Yeah. See, if you watch the Band Geeks episodes, it's like day 2, day 3, day 4. That's what I did. And that's from the SpongeBob Band Geeks episode. So, believe me when I tell you, that episode has a resounding impact even today. And that episode's gotta be it's gotta be over 20 years old. I still remember watching it too. He talked about how, why singing the Star Spangled Banner is actually a lot more difficult than it looks, because there's a lot of tension and release, as well as, they didn't quite get to saying that, but I want to believe that, I mean, considering the theme of the song and how, you know, it's the flag that brought our country together. Like, you know, I learned this from watching National Treasure 2 of all things. It wasn't until after actually, never mind. I was gonna say that one scene where it's like people used to say the United States are. It wasn't until after the Civil War people now say the United States is. But yeah, you're singing the symbol of our country, man. Make it good. You gotta have a good amount of tension released. And fun fact about Charlie Puth: years before he got famous, he would sort of randomly call a YouTuber saying, "Hey, listen, you know, do you want me to write a jingle for your channel? Because I can do that for, you know, $50. So for The Last Dab, Charlie Puth tried to make a theme for Hot Ones, which he really couldn't do because all throughout the episode, Charlie Puth, he got through it, but he was definitely struggling in some places. Like, he couldn't make a theme because his lips were burning. I mean, that should tell you how hot these wings are right there. But for real, Charlie Puth was great on Hot Ones yesterday. He was. Yesterday's episode was great. I mean, if you're a Charlie Puth fan, of course I recommend you give this a watch. If you're a Hot Ones fan, of course you're already going to watch this. Nothing I say is going to change your mind. And if you're a music fan, especially one who's very savvy, give this episode a watch. Because it's nice to see that, like, celebrities like Charlie Puth, you know, like, they can sing, for sure. But the fact that they also know the ins and outs of how a chord can generate an emotional response. How a line that would sound different singing one note sounds completely different, or possibly even better singing in a different note. Like, you don't hear people make that kind of talk very often. And I'm glad I got to see that. Hope y'all like this video. If you like this, our YouTube channel, follow on social media. As always, I'm very helpful. This video for all you guys watching. Enjoy it. We have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Friday. And remember, if you guys want to talk, chance, we're here to lend you. Always back. Take care. Make good choices. 607 all day, baby.